I think that trend is continuing, and it might have even less to do with economics and more to do with geopolitics. I do believe that European politicians made a mistake by threatening to essentially take over Russian assets in Euroclear, because the signal that they send is that maybe if you're a central bank or if you're a sovereign nation, you should not keep your money in the Western financial system. And maybe the place to keep your reserves is going to be gold and silver. And again, it wouldn't be that all of the reserve will suddenly move from Western assets or equities, like we are seeing with Middle Eastern sovereign wealth fund. They are heavily involved in equities and debt market. But you will see a case being made for Central Bank of India, central banks in China, sovereign wealth fund in Southeast Asia, that, well, if we are in a world of geopolitical volatility, maybe we should keep more and more of our reserves in gold and silver and less so on assets that might be clearing on Euroclear, or assets that you may rely on the SWIFT network, i.e. dollars and euros, to move around.
So, Ali, to what extent do you think that type of movement, maybe taking some money and putting it into gold and silver, was that behind what we saw in some of the gold and silver moves in 2025, which just had these extraordinary increases in value?
I do believe that is the case, because at the end of the day, gold and silver have a production cost. You need to use electricity. You need to look at cost of raw material, and then you can essentially produce gold and silver. And right now we are in a little period of anomaly where the market clearing price is above production cost. Now, the reason for that, I think, is because there is a rather sharp movement by the central bank to reallocate their assets. And they don't advertise that. So getting data on that is somewhat challenging. But when you look at the movements overall, it indicates that it is more of a sovereign movement behind trying to hoard more gold and silver. And especially in case of silver and China, there are headlines around China essentially trying to restrict export of silver out of China.